Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're checking out The Apartment by developer Christopher Jack Nilsson. And as far as I can tell, this is one of those sort of borderline game/experience type things, and I really don't know much of anything about it except for the little bits that I've read just from these little menu items here. So before we get started, of course, we're just going to tick the boxes as we usually do. So there's our credits. I do like to display them even just for a moment. And notice there is a lovely piano sound going as I mouse over each one of these. We've got instructions. To move your head, use the directional keys or WASD. To move your body, mouse pointer to the horizontal or bottom edge of the view. To interact, click when the cursor changes from an arrow into another form. Not sure what the other form is, but we'll find out. Hold shift to raise your senses and inventory. That sounds like an interesting button that I'm sure we'll be using. This game was designed to be played once, and thank you for your time. If you feel the experience was more than that, please select Patronize from the main menu. I think that's a nice thing to do. Makes it sort of like a simple call to action without it seeming kind of like you're overstepping your boundaries. And we've actually got an artist statement, which is something I don't think I've ever seen in a web build for an indie game before, and actually I really like that I found this here. If you don't know what an artist statement is, it's just basically what it sounds like, an artist conveying their intent for their work through, usually a few sentences to a few paragraphs. So in this case, my work explores isolation and decrepitude, both mental and physical, with influences as diverse as brutalist architecture. So that's like those, if you know in New Jersey, they have like all those apartment buildings. They're very blocky, sort of fortress-like. So like think maybe low-income housing or something where there's a lot of repetitive geometry. That's sort of like my understanding of brutalist architecture is. And postmodern cyberculture, which I'm not sure exactly what that's referring to, but I think my mind can just sort of infer. New models of narration are created from exploring the discomfort of the human psyche and emergent digital mediums. Ever since I was a child, I've been fascinated by storytelling and its effect on the imagination. The fugue state entered when enthralled by media becomes the definition of immersion, and it is this feeling that the work tries to capture. As the narrative unfolds based on a willingness or unwillingness to explore the environment, the player is left with a sense of relief or emptiness at their condition. So I'm getting sort of like a postmodern Proteus, perhaps, which seems fitting since I just covered that the other day. That's a very complex artist statement, I have to say. I'd actually probably have to take a few minutes and think about that to get exactly every bit of meaning that's in there, because it's sort of one of those things like a puzzle, so you need to unravel it. Anyway, let's just start it up, because I don't know actually what exactly is going on in this game, and we're going to see in just a moment. We're loading heavy content right now, so we'll have some patience for you. Dark Acre Jack, I really like your logo, by the way. Something about it looks very classy. Looks very actually quite like big budget kind of AAA publisher look. I don't know if that's the right idea though. So it looks like we're hopefully loaded. Oh, there we are. Okay, we're waking up. And we're going to explore some decrepitude in some brutalist architecture, perhaps. Alright, hold shift. There's our menu. We've got our senses. Sight, hearing, smell. Oh, I like this. So we can actually grab... That's what it meant by raising your senses. The fresh smell of wet concrete with a slight salt tang. The nest-like reek of slept-in bedding. The sound of rain, very close. A soft hiss punctuated by staccato splats. Your mind clutches at remnants of memory or tattooed pieces of a fading dream. Tombstones, trenches, indolent days. Can't see a damn thing without your glasses. Okay, so we're going to need to go find some glasses. So we're doing sort of a hybrid, like, point-and-click adventure mixed with first-person exploration, I suppose. Which is actually kind of an interesting idea. I mean, I haven't seen that done too many times except for, like, maybe Myst. Or I should say real Myst, because original Myst you couldn't look around. So I guess now that we're looking in this direction... No, okay. I thought maybe we could get some different cues from our senses. Let's try and move around a little bit. It's kind of quite hard to see where we're going without our glasses, obviously. It's actually kind of a sensible thing to have to start the day. Usually keep your glasses like right on the nightstand, and I can see a clock there clearly. is actually quite, I don't know, it's sort of like an isolated feeling when you can't see and you're not really sure of this environment yet, because usually you try to get like the lay of the land with your surroundings, and I can tell that the developer is pointing us in a certain direction. Every time I try and move around, it seems like the viewpoint reorients itself. Can I just go, though? Seems like no matter what I click, I keep rotating between these couple of two directions here, which I can't seem to get out of. Yeah, no, I can't see from over there either. Alright, let's see what we can try and make out here. So that looks like the edge of the bed. Okay, so we're just going to keep going through that. Can't even feel things, though? Like, come on, I mean, granted I can't see, but I should be able to, like, touch the stuff in front of me, right? Oh, those are them, okay. These feel like a pair of eyeglasses. Of course I want to take them. Let's put those suckers on if we can, I mean. Yes, put them on, please. I would like to see what I'm doing. Much, much better. Okay, it's 4:23. I'm gonna guess day, based on the fact that there's light coming through, but that is sort of dim. Dirty plastic slats do their ready best to block the view of the outside world. I kind of wish I could just walk around, actually. Like, I get the point of making you deliberately move from one point to the next, but at the same time, I kind of wish I could just explore at my own pace. I believe that might be... Oh, switch opens and closes the blinds. Let's flick it. Oh, nice. Oh, not so nice. When we open the blinds, we're greeted with a brick wall. I thought it was just dark out or something, and I wasn't able to understand what I was looking at, but no, it's just a wall. Through the dusty slats of the blinds, you can make out decaying brick edifice adjacent to your room. You have no idea what goes on in that building, further reinforcing the sense of isolation. The cushion for the recliner looks brand new. Perhaps the cleaning people have been in lately, but you can't seem to remember. Okay. So you're in a very impersonal environment where people may or may not be coming and going, and you're not really sure. That sounds like a government building or something. This corner table is a smaller version of the coffee table, no less cheap looking. Coffee table looks like made out of pine, most likely made for something cheaper than that. I have to say, the ability not to walk around, like, really does reinforce some sort of sense of isolation and dread. Still can't tell if it's dark out, though. There's also a bit of a noise filter, and it's tough to get a good sense for, like, what I think about graphical fidelity going on here, because it's just hard to see, but now we're going to see. Alright, turn around, much better. Well, fairly, you know, semi-naturalistic looking environment. What's up with this floor, though? I was inclined to believe that it was carpet, because carpet makes sense, but looking at it, it looks like solid, like, steel with those traction marks on it, which is not exactly something I'm used to finding in apartments, if this is an apartment. I'm not sure if this is an apartment or a hotel room, you know, really can't tell. So it's up to the player how much we want to explore. Okay, so this is actually, I believe, a hotel room. Fire escape plan would be useful if you gain access to the outside. Perhaps a door open in the event of an emergency. I believe they're trying to bait me now, or he's trying to bait me into using some sort of a combination, like puzzle game style, where I would set off the fire alarm, perhaps. That's what I would guess, anyway. Plastic electronic device has a singular button, a red numeric indicator, and is the color of empty dread. That's a little melodramatic, don't you think? White plastic cable snakes into an oblong plug mounted in the wall. Fit a small child in this drawer. Okay, well, I don't intend to do that. I like how we're getting points also for everything we keep touching on. Yeah, I'd definitely like to take advantage of that. What do we hit? One in the cover, it was bear. Well, that's no good. What about this one? Also bear? Oh. Now I'm having a slight flashback to that game Witch that I played, like, right at the beginning of the series, where I was, like, wandering around in the dark trying to open up cupboards and look for keys to get into a bunch of rooms that I didn't know what was in them. Similar feeling, just a little less creepy. Or, well, almost maybe equally creepy, but depends how you look at it, what framework you look at it within. The overwide wooden handle opens and closes the left side of the kitchen drawer. Let's open. Nothing in there. Extremely wide, almost comically so. Yeah, I would actually agree with that assertion. So it's actually keeping tally. Every individual thing you click on, you're getting some sort of a tally for, which may or may not factor into some sort of something that determines something else. I'm not actually sure. But I could imagine, if I was being rather ambitious, that the developer might be using that information to later aggregate it into a score, which would then determine whether or not you interacted with your environment, and thereby give you some sort of an ending based on that information. This is a chrome tap inscribed with the Gothic letter H. Very descriptive. Looks like we don't have any water. Alright, we've got hot and cold running. Stylish wash basin is stone dry. It looks like it's never been used. Well, perhaps because there's no water available. And does it actually turn both directions? Let's see. Yeah, it turns counterclockwise and clockwise, and no water. Okay. Now we know. Strange there be nothing but dust lining the inside is covered. You dimly recall being told that all of your needs would be handled. Okay, so now we've got a slightly larger situation going on. You know, there's some other element now that's a factor in play. You know, someone told you something, which means that something, some sort of bigger picture is happening. And I shouldn't neglect the fact that I have senses to use here, which is something we so often do as humans. Area seems extravagant, excessive. You cannot recall ever using it. The device on the counter is making noise. Dead mechanical thing would. Scent of anything cooked is noticeably absent. So we've got a bit of a facade, perhaps. The vertical wooden handle opens. Okay, let's check it out. Still nothing in there either. I'd really like to not have to stand in this very awkward position looking down at like a strange corner angle. Like, I just want to turn so I'm, like, facing this wall instead of facing either in towards the sink or facing away. Like, I just can't see the whole space. I don't see why that has to be that way. It seems like it's more work to do it this way, almost. Now, I'm wondering, what if I... Well, first, my thought was first to unplug the thing. I'm not sure why. Yeah, let's press it. I got plus 20 for that. Messages, okay.
Hi. Mom's making me call you, as usual. I am sure you won't remember who I am. You never do when we come to visit. Mom says we'll be coming out again in spring. I hope you're still there when we do. Okay. That's all. Love you. Bye.
That was strange.
This is John Harbinger calling from the Legion office. I regret to inform you that Sergeant Lee passed away in his sleep last weekend. As the lone surviving member of 4th Company Battalion, the role of standard bearer in the annual Victory Day Parade now passes to you. If you are unfit to perform this duty, you may assign a proxy. If you have any questions, please call our office at your earliest convenience. Thank you.
Okay, we're a standard bearer.
Message 3803
And Dr. Engel here. This is a courtesy patient call to inform you that your test results came back positive. We've made the necessary arrangements with the care home, and your new medication will be provided for you alongside any pre-existing ones. I'm sorry if this causes you any inconvenience. If you have any concerns, please tell your care worker and they'll pass them along to us. Thank you very much.
End of messages.
Well then, we've just learned quite a bit about the plot, and that last message, of course, was probably the most telling of the three. We've got some sort of something that's positive, which is usually bad, And it also reinforced the fact that there's a high degree of bureaucracy involved with the entire transaction of whatever that was. So it's further putting you in a position where you're far away from actual people or understanding or, acknowledgement of life. Which, in the artistic way that we're looking at this whole situation, that actually makes a lot of sense and definitely reinforces the fact that you're very alone in a place that you don't quite know or understand, and there's a lot of stuff going on that's outside of your control, making you feel powerless. Hard-edged antique clock was a gift from someone whose name escapes you. You do recall a lecture on how practicing telling time would improve cognitive skills, whatever that means. Alright, well, another thing I'm not really sure how to frame exactly yet. You're spinning your wheels if you think this stool is anything for you but silence. Okay. And that first voice on the answering machine, I'm not sure what to make of that either. It sounded a little bit like a child's voice, but it sounded like an adult pretending to be a child, and I'm not sure if that was intentional or what. Either way, something strange is going on. I want to get in this room over here. What is this about? Stay in chrome recess, open and close the bathroom door. Okay. Well, I figured it was a bathroom, but this place has been a little bit out of the ordinary, so I just wasn't sure. Run out of toilet paper. There's more over here. Didn't want to put it on the roll for whatever reason. Maybe telling. What's this? Looks like there was once a mirror hanging here. All that remains now is a set of empty brackets. Yeah, there wouldn't be a mirror because then I'd get to see what I look like, and maybe I could infer some more about my character then. Darn. Alright, we've got another... Oh, sensor. I was going to say, where are the handles? Running your hands all around it produces not a drop of water. It wouldn't be much use anyways. There's no soap. Yeah, that's not fun. Experimental tug on the handles reveals a false cupboard, nothing more than decoration. Alright, so it's like the Truman Show here. I'm not sure I'm supposed to be thriving in this environment. Handle, open and close the top vanity drawer. I actually am totally getting the picture now. It's an environment created that isn't suited for human life, yet is so identical to situations we seem to find ourselves in so frequently, which definitely lends itself to a good degree of discomfort, even if it's like psychological dissonance. How many times have you lain in the bathtub listening to the soft gurgle of water slowly escaping from this overflow cap? I don't know, actually. How many times have I done that? Because from what I can tell, it doesn't appear that there's a whole lot of water going on in this place. Also, I keep accidentally steering myself. Till it is down, you're not going to make that mistake again. Okay. I keep accidentally steering myself into places where I don't intend to be. Perhaps the geniuses thought it would be comfortable to mount this bog roll holder in such an awkward position. I had a little more sense it would be full right. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. That's a really interesting observation, a very careful touch, actually, that the developer chose to highlight something like that as the poor positioning of like an inergonomic toilet paper roll holder, which is something that I think many of us have dealt with in our lives in some way. How frustrating that can be. This thin plastic toilet lid is the only protection between the outside world and a raging cauldron of germs and bacteria. Okay, flip it. Oh, there's water in there. Water looks clear enough, but I wouldn't go drinking it. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm not actually sure what I'm doing in the bathroom here. Yeah, I'd like to flush it just to see if more water shows up. I'm sort of guessing it might not. Oh no, it did. So the toilet has water at least. Now does the shower though? You don't feel like taking a bath right now. Besides that, it's more hassle than it's worth, and it's not going to be having any visitors to offend with your body odor. Okay. So clearly you're not feeling too good. Sharp angles of the spout strike you as a bit of an over-design, yeah. Drain plug is kept in to keep the spiders out. That's horrible. I don't like the idea of spiders coming in through your shower. Chrome cap seals the place where the shower head was supposed to be. It was removed once it was deemed too dangerous for you to stand in a slippery bathtub. So you're clearly in some sort of I don't know what the right word is here, like a health facility, care facility, due to some sort of a degenerative problem. And as of yet, we're not sure what that is. It's the inner leaf of the left sliding closet door is a handle attached to the right. Okay. Open and close the closet right side. Alright, let's open it. If you want to really freak me out, this would be a good moment to have a jump scare, by the way, because I kind of was lulled into a sense of just calm and comfort by, well, aside from being just awkward about the whole situation. Okay, I'm hitting down because I want to look down, not because I want to turn around, but whatever. But yeah, I've come to understand that there is a certain level of whatever is going on here is sort of a self-contained little universe, and I'm not really expecting anything particularly scary or bad to happen. We're just going to have, like, death by the mundane, I suppose. The wrapped garment bag contains pressed, bespoke, formal wear. You cannot remember the last time you put on this outfit. Regimental uniform. You have no idea if this still fits you. I'm guessing it wouldn't still fit you because you've either gotten extremely skinny or extremely fat. I'm guessing probably the former. Hanging light seems to have no power switch associated, perhaps always kept on. Seems wasteful. Yeah, it does. Standard closet crossbar, hanging clothes from, is unlikely to support your weight. Not sure why I would expect it to support my weight. Upper tracks of the closet. This is extremely detailed, what I can click on here. Due to the sound machining, the slide on this door has never failed you yet, or the slide on this. Light seems heavier here. A bit of it pooling from the closet like blood on or rainwater filling a depression. Wow. I actually completely forgot that I could use this to move my head around. I started to just completely start using the mouse as the exclusive interaction method. The box sits on the floor of the closet like a small wooden tombstone. It's very heavy, and you are loath to move it. Small brass lock with unusual shape secures the contents of the box. Alright, so there's clearly some sort of a key lock mechanism going on, as is so often the case in games. Oh man, I didn't keep turning around. Why does it take so long to turn also? I don't want that. I just want to look down. Singular drawer of the writing desk. You know, I think it's very much intentional, though. All this stuff is paced in the way that it's supposed to be. If I had free reign to move around, I think I'd be able to, like, really whip through all of these things to look at really way too fast, so I think it actually makes sense that things are slowed down to that degree. The solid steel plate flooring, though, is really disconcerting. That's probably the creepiest thing. If that is actually what that is, unless it's just a weird carpet pattern that I'm misreading, but it really looks like steel to me. Like what they have in the, like, warehouse floors, like when you're moving around really heavy equipment. So, I mean, I think we get the idea what the apartment's about. This is just going to keep progressing. We're going to either learn more or not based on what we choose to do in this apartment. I've obviously opted for the exploratory role here. But I suppose that is up to each individual how they want to approach this thing. I honestly want to know as much about this as possible, because I'm really enjoying the idea behind it and the narrative that's being created little by little through, you know, inference, really. I like when things are discovered in a first-hand, first-person sort of way, which is one of the reasons I actually like Dark Souls so much. I know that's a really unexpected reference, perhaps, but the way that they approached the narrative in that game was almost exclusively through using items and looking at them and exploring architecture, exploring spaces. The NPCs, although they had the ability to talk to you, rarely informed you of very much useful. They were mostly just there for ambience. They would occasionally, you know, give you powers and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, they were there more on an ornamental level than to further the plot, although there were a few exceptions, of course. So the door on the front is locked. Whether for your protection or imprisonment, you cannot recall. What a horrible thing. And it's also reminding me of Silent Hill 4, The Room. Not my favorite Silent Hill, but I definitely did applaud them for some bold art direction. And I did like the idea behind it very much. I just don't think that they maybe took it as far as it needed to go. You know, it sort of reminds me of that one movie, Being John Malkovich, where they crawled through the wall and then eventually ended up in the head of this guy It's a really strange premise, but it was actually approached in a way that I wasn't really expecting, so I kind of applauded them for it. Anyway, I think we'll wrap up the apartment. I do want to leave a bit for you guys to explore on your own. I'm not sure how much more there is, but I have a feeling there's some sort of a locking mechanism to unlock for that box. I haven't explored like this nightstand, maybe anything specific about the desk, and I haven't done the whole like adventure game click on every possible surface thing yet. So there will be more for you guys to check out. You know, for a place that's so hell-bent on keeping you safe, having this big open fan with what looks like giant metal, like industrial blades, seems like a little bit counterintuitive. Only allowed to turn the overhead light on and off. The fan must be controlled from some center. That's awful. If you've ever been way too cold and had a fan on and weren't able to turn it off, it's really uncomfortable and unpleasant. So I'm definitely getting a sense of the oppressive nature. The whole approach to the art of this is fairly consistent, actually. The few exceptions, maybe this plaid pattern on the bedspread seems a little bit more rustic, or like, you know, has too much character. And some of the architecture over here, like the countertop perhaps, and the choice for wood for the cabinet seems like, I mean, it's fairly standard, but in a way it almost seems like it's, you know what, no, I'm going to take that back. It actually seems pretty good for this idea. I was going to say it seemed like it was too obvious, but at the same time, obvious is kind of what you would expect to find in this sort of architecture. So in a way, it's just reinforcing something that really just makes sense. These stools, by the way, look horrible to sit on, which makes also perfect sense. So yeah, I mean, if I have any criticisms, it's just a bit frustrating to get around like this. I'm not a huge fan of having to click in every direction, but I also acknowledge why it perhaps was done. And I think there may be reasons to necessitate that sort of a decision, so that's cool. It's just maybe not my cup of tea. But otherwise, very cool experience. I definitely would recommend people check this out. And I'm actually looking quite forward to perusing some of the other works by this developer, so I would urge you to do the same if you find this interesting, and put this developer on your radar. I also wish there was an option to turn off the noise filter. I know it's a stupid little niggling complaint, but I kind of get bothered by that sometimes, and just prefer to see a more clean vision of what it is we're looking at. But yeah, that's a silly critique. It's not really a big deal. So that is going to do it for the apartment. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little ride through it. And hopefully you will, as always, check out the website, which is www.indie-impressions.com. You can go there and check out all the videos, old and new. Sort them by distribution method, by platform, by developer if you want to use the search box. And just generally check out the website and then head on over to the forums too. Wouldn't hurt. Maybe meet some cool people. Talk about indie games. Discover some stuff. That's what we're all about here on Indie Impressions anyway. Discovery and furthering a dialogue about indie games. But when you're done with the site, also facebook.com/indieimpressions. If you'd like to leave a like on that page, you'll get every day's new video delivered right into your Facebook stream. Makes it nice and convenient for you so you don't have to go looking for them, and then they will come right to you. I also do the occasional news update or contest through the site as well, so you know, if it's not too much trouble, it helps me out, and it helps you guys out as well if you're looking for the content. And lastly, if you're a indie dev and you want to get in contact with me about possibly doing your game for the show, at RockLeeSmile is the quickest way to reach me. I also have a contact form right on the website, so feel free to send me an email. Either way, I'm totally fine with that. And just generally welcome anybody that wants to say hi. I always, you know, I'm open to doing that. So please do contact me for pretty much any reason. But that will do it for another episode. Thank you so much for watching, and please be sure to come back again tomorrow for another one. I do a new episode every single day, and we're past 300 episodes now. We're going to keep it going as long as possible. I hope you're still enjoying the series, and I hope you have a lovely night. Talk to you tomorrow.